Hello and welcome to this edition of the Time with Hime podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Cordes, joined by our superintendent, Mr. Hime. It is the last week of this 2021, not school year, but calendar year.
Yes, it's always tough when you're in education because they always says until next year. Well, next year is next school year.
That's right, August.
Our years run July 1 to June 30th, whereas the calendar years, obviously, which is the most important, is January 1st to December 31st. And yes, it's going to be, this is it, last week.
And we have lots of things going on. Before we get into what's happening this week, let's talk about the great things that we did last week.
Wow, the Robotic show. Big shout out to Doris and the tech team and all of our maker spaces and all the students and staff. It was just people everywhere in control. Chaos is what all that's about. But the kids were engaged and built robots, and they had a great competition, and hopefully we can share some of those results real quick. And it was a very exciting time.
Well, and we streamed it on our LPS TV YouTube channel. So if you missed that, you can go back and watch it. Over 3 hours of fun, entertaining, good, wholehearted fun for the kids. I mean, Makerspace teachers were out there. They were involved. Every school was represented. And
yes,
we had several categories and lots of winners out there.
Yep, it was awesome.
So thank you for coming out there and spending
yes,
the day.
Yes, very good day to spend. We also, it kind of coincided. We had 4 legislators of our area. We had Daniel Pay, Senator Montgomery, we had Caldwell, and we had Mr. Wortham. So we had those representatives and Senator Montgomery. We had them here to meet with us on Friday, so they all walked through and got to see the awesome things that kids are doing. And that's a big thing we're working on from the legislative side, is because one of the things that happens in schools is they always want to know what you're doing with the money. And although all this federal money has been good for us in some ways, and we've been able to create some programs, and there's some flexibility it gave us across the district, it created the ability with some of that flexibility for retention bonuses and Christmas bonuses and some raises for teachers to provide what they deserve. You know, we all know they deserve it. But when you deal with legislators, well, what are you doing with all that money? Well, then they start thinking we have plenty and we don't need more. So when they get to come and visit with us, but they also see things like that robotics competition or the LRC or what we're doing with our TAP program, or just some of the general day-to-day things some of our awesome teachers are doing in their classroom, it shows that, hey, we are spending that money wisely, and we are getting results. And so it helps with that, continuing to encourage them to keep providing us with the resources, because, again, that's my battle with them, because I always say as a superintendent, my job is to provide resources for our teachers and staff to educate our students.
Well, and it was great because it was at the LRC, so the legislators got to go to the LRC, and then they got to come into the gym at the LRC where all of our elementaries were. So it was a great space and venue for things to happen.
Perfect timing. You know, it's just, we always got so many great things going on. That's kind of feeds into the next segment, but you can get on our webpage anytime this week, and you're going to find some really exciting events, which is really exciting for me because, you know, last year was my first year at Superintendent at Lawton. We were in the COVID. Everything was video. We didn't have all these programs and all these things we can go to. And I know some teachers in schools, just because the parents chose, because of their situation, we're still having some video, we're having some in person. So make sure you log on to your website, look at your students'
school website and social media.
Website and Monday folder or however you communicate to know what's going on this week, because there's a lot of exciting events.
Plays, and then we have actually taking place today and tomorrow, the LPS Foundation's Prize Patrol is out.
Oh, awesome. You know, hey, we have the best foundation. They work hard to raise money to provide for our teachers, you know. And again, some of the things we talk about that we're really trying to work hard on is making sure our teachers understand we want the foundation to provide things to allow our teachers to be creative, to get out of the box, to do things that they normally wouldn't do. We want to, as a district, provide the needs and the resources they need, those day-to-day materials. We want the teachers to write grants for those things that they wouldn't normally get, and that's exciting that we're starting to move that way. But our foundation does a great job of helping our teachers with whatever they need or want to be better at their profession.
And so if they don't see him today, there's a good chance they'll see him tomorrow, because we're going to get those celebrations out there on our social. Another thing, speaking of websites and social media, we're talking about inclement weather with the devastation that happened in Kentucky and traveling out there. We want to remind our families what it looks like for us during inclement weather. Will you share?
Well, and we're already many years we've already taken a snow day, which we kind of put on the back burner. Those don't exist anymore. So that's kind of one of the things we kind of got to get into. It kind of gets a little bit confusing, but we do have our system where we send out a message to all of our parents. So you really need to make sure your contact information is up to date. And that's the purpose of some of that call blast system or that text message or even emails we send out to parents so they know that, hey, we're not having school today. And remember, there's different ways if you're a staff member that we're going to call for inclement weather. We can have a remote day, which means everybody stays home, and our
essential that need to come in.
Our
check
certified staff work from home and do their, and our hourly staff, they have to work with their supervisors on how they work. But the certified staff will work from home. They'll be able to log on, present the materials to their students. Their students will work from home. But it's more as a student-paced day, not a teacher-paced day. Now, if it's just a virtual day, then the teachers and staff are all in the buildings, and that would be a teacher-paced day where you should be logging on in your day-to-day routine as you normally do as if you're at school. But you got to pay attention because, we haven't had any inclement weather. We're 2 weeks out. We're going to be out of school. Again, that kind of feeds into it. Understand, Thursday is the last day for students. Teachers will work Friday, and then students come back the 4th, which is a Tuesday, but teachers come back the Monday before. That little Monday before gives teachers a little bit of time to reboot, the staff to reboot, make sure
that they're prepared.
Well, and make sure pipes didn't freeze and break and everything's ready to go and get their classrooms transformed from a winter break Christmas theme to a here we come into we're into the new year and we're moving on to the spring type thing. So
spring events, spring activities, lots of great things coming on. It's there's a lot of good things. Now let's remind our families about the COVID summary and the COVID testing that's available.
Yeah, so now last week we were so excited. We had our nurse, Miss Cotton, Mary Cotton, visited our podcast, heard some great reviews on that. People very excited. But we do have COVID testing available. It is spiking across the country again. Every time we get a new variant or whatever, it's called Omicron or something, and there'll be another one next month. But if you feel like you need tested, we do offer free testing for students and staff. And that's just to help remind you, and hopefully you take advantage of that and you can get a hold of our nurse or look on our website at the different sites. But we're excited about offering that service because, again, it's something we offer. We know some parents wouldn't test their kids if they just don't feel like they need to test their kid. That's your choice as a parent. You're still a parent. I'm a parent. My kids just don't listen to me anymore because they're grown.
Well, they do a little bit. They just won't tell you.
Yeah. You're a parent with students in middle school and elementary. You choose whether they get tested, whether they get vaccinated. That's your personal choice. It's not mine. I just like the idea that we offer you that service if you choose to have your child tested.
Correct. Now, ready for our celebrations that we have coming up right now? You ready for our podcast?
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's talk about Lawton High School and their reflection winners. That's their PTA writing.
Yes, it's really awesome. We're excited anytime a school brings a recognition to themselves. Shout out to Lawton High and their students for what they accomplished.
And Esports, our Eisenhower crew went up to the city and competed, and we have one that has received a scholarship from OCU.
Wow, already starting to get scholarships. When we started this, everybody said, What is esports? And we're like, there's like 15, 16 colleges. Somebody told me there's over 20 now in Oklahoma that offer scholarships in esports. We've got somebody
that's
sanctioned,
right?
Yes, it's sanctioned by the OSSA. Hopefully we can win some championships in that. But just the idea of getting students involved in things. And students are playing a lot of video games, and we get to control what games they play here. So very exciting. You're seeing a lot of that in the military and different places that those game controllers and the ability to do that. It's got a lot to do with drones and things, and hopefully that evolves into some of our engineering programs, our coding programs. That was one of the categories in our
competition, our junior robotics.
Coding and learning how to do that. So we've got students of all ages working on those things, so it's something that really excites us.
And we have another shout out and celebration, and that's our LPS swim team, because all three high schools are one swim team.
Yes, and we're really working on that. One thing we talked about last week, expanding our swim team, because in order to have a good varsity team, you need to have a middle school team. So we're looking at how can we expand that and compete with our middle school team.
And so we are very congratulatory to them because I know some records were broken and times were beat, and that was within the swim team. So
Awesome.
Exciting things that are going on. Mr. Hime, it is our last week for the 2021 year. Is there anything else you want to say to our families?
You know, first of all, everybody celebrates the holidays. For me, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. If you have other ways you celebrate it, hey, rest, relax, reboot yourself. If you're a staff member, you take the holidays to get ready for the second semester. This first semester has been exciting with a lot of great things, but with the COVID or the pandemic hanging over us, it's still been our teachers. Somebody said it today. All of our teachers wear a cape. You just don't see them because they are definitely superheroes.
Absolutely. And right now we want to give everybody our email address, so if there's anything that comes up over the break, and our website.
It's info@lawtonps.org. Our website is lawtonps.org. Again, we look for questions. We look for comments. If you got guests you would like to have, we really feel this podcast, which we're moving into episode
We'll get
70.
that's right.
Somewhere in there. And we really enjoy the communication it provides, and there's a lot of people listens to it. But we want to make sure we're providing information that makes this 15 minutes relevant to you to take the time to sit down and listen to us.
Correct. Mr. Hime, thank you so much for joining us. You guys, thank you. We wish you all a very happy holiday, Merry Christmas, and until January, be well, stay safe, and make positive impacts. Have a good one.